Russia struck Ukraine's second largest city of Kharkiv Friday. Local officials report one person was killed and 98 others injured, including 6 children. The attack came the same day Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the U.S. was prepared to move on if there was no progress on ceasefire talks. President Trump was asked Friday what he needed to see from Ukraine and Russia.
I have to see, my whole life has been one big negotiation, and I know when people are playing us, and I know when they're not, and I have to see an enthusiasm to want to end it. And I think I see that enthusiasm. I think I see it from both sides.
Former U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine John Herbst joins us now. He's also the senior director for the Atlantic Council's Eurasia Center. What, in your view, is the biggest issue preventing a lasting ceasefire in Ukraine?
Putin doesn't want it. Putin's goal is to have political control of Ukraine. He wants the war to continue, and he wants the United States to stop sending arms to Ukraine. That's his objective.
So when you hear the president there say he thinks that he sees a desire for both sides to make a deal, you question whether it really is just one side, and that is Zelensky being the one who wants a deal made.
Zelensky said, or the Ukrainian government said at the meeting in Jeddah a month ago, they were willing to accept without change the American proposal for a general ceasefire. Moscow rejected it. Moscow broke the subsequent energy installation ceasefire within an hour and a half of it being concluded. And Moscow rejected the Black Sea ceasefire. Putin wants the war to continue. He wants America to stop arming Ukraine. He wants America to help lift sanctions. That's his objective. And the only way we get him to negotiate in a serious way is by making it painful for him to continue the war. Trump has threatened that, but he's yet to take any actions to make it more difficult for Putin to continue the war.
Given what we've heard from the administration, which is conflicting messaging, I mean, we've heard the Secretary of State say we'll know in the coming days if, the window to cut a deal is closing or not. We heard the vice president say he's optimistic a deal can be cut. Let's say, though, that the White House, the current administration, does choose to walk away from negotiations. Is it your read of the situation that then that means the U.S. also walks away from aid, or we're not there yet?
No, we don't know. If Trump were to say, OK, I'm going to stop negotiations, but I'll continue to supply American arms, Ukraine would have to pay for it. That's where he differs from Biden, but that's manageable. Then Putin's got a problem. If Trump says, I'm walking away from not just negotiations, but from any role in the war, then Putin's got exactly what he wants. The Americans out because we are the principal arsenal for Ukraine, and he can continue his fight. So that would be a policy of Americans shirking its responsibilities. You don't create peace by coddling the aggressor. You create peace by being strong with the aggressor. Trump has promised peace through strength, the way Reagan did. If he behaves the way Reagan did, then it'll all turn out. But we have to see if that's what the administration has in mind. We don't know at this point.
If the U.S. does walk away from negotiations, is there anyone else in a position to take over a role as mediator?
The Russians don't want a mediator. They want to have decent relations with the United States because the arms we supply to Ukraine have been the principal reason Moscow has been unable to win, actually after the Ukrainian resistance. And of course, the sanctions, which were an American-led effort, have been done serious damage to the Russian economy. So if we walk away from the war entirely, that gives Putin much more favorable circumstances to complete his aggression and take political control of Ukraine. But if we walk away from negotiations and continue to arm Ukraine, Putin has a problem, and that would be very effective pressure.
You don't see anybody else in Europe who is able to take on any kind of mediator role that Putin would sit at the table with?
Oh, Putin will sit and talk to others. He sat and talked to Merkel when she was in charge of Germany. He sat and talked to Macron, but he never took a step towards peace. Because, again, his aim is to have political control of Ukraine, not to have just the territory of Ukraine he's already seized. So he will talk, but he will not act on that talk unless that talk demands the surrender of Ukraine. But I don't see any European government, aside from Orban and Hungary, willing to do that. And I don't see the Trump administration willing to do that, although it's possible Trump may walk away from this and allow Putin to take Ukraine, which would be a major defeat for American diplomacy.
Ambassador John Herbst, thank you.